Hello and welcome back to Sarah Lynn Makeup. Today we are doing this look, which was the second look that I had posted on my TikTok channel. If you want to see the video from back then, because I did change it just a little bit, I tweaked it. But if you want to see the original video, you can head over to my profile. But we are going to be doing this look today. This look is again using the Revolution Birds of Paradise palette. The reason that I had used this one twice was because I made this challenge a little too complicated for myself. And after doing the first look, I felt like I didn't use enough shades, so I did a second look using more shades, which was why I ended up starting the whole thing over again, because I did this with a couple palettes and realized it was too much. But we are going to be recreating this look. So if you want to see how I got there, then please keep watching. So we are again going to be using this Revolution Birds of Paradise palette. We are going to be recreating this look that I will show you right now. So as you can see, this look is very bold, very fun. It's rainbow, so you can't go wrong with that. So I'm really excited, and let's dip into this palette and start recreating this look. So the first thing I'm doing is priming my eyes again, and just like in my last video, I'm still using the Milani eyeshadow primer. And just doing a little dollop on my finger and putting it all over my lid all the way up to my brow and just patting it to blend that all out. So the first shade that I used from this palette is this shade right here. This is called Tweet. It's like a reddish orangey shade. It's as close to red as I could get in this palette to actually complete this rainbow look. And I'm taking it on a definer brush. This is the ColourPop E26. I just cleaned it off. I did use it for like a purple, but I cleaned it off with my color changer. And I'm just gonna dip into that Tweet shade. Let's see. And just start packing that on my inner corner. I just wanna do a little bit because there are other colors that we're gonna be putting on our eyes. So we don't wanna go too far. We just wanna do it right in the very inner corner. The best way to do this is also just doing patting motions, not swiping it, but just packing the color on. So now that we have that shade packed on, we are going to go into the next shade, which is this beautiful orange. And I'm still using the same brush. I just cleaned it off with my color changer. The shade is called Toucan Play, and I'm going to start packing it right on next to that first shade, Tweet. Again, we're just using patting motions just to start building up that color. And you kind of want to pat it just a little bit into that first shade to start blending them together, but you don't want to do it too much because we're just going to keep building up these shades. Now that I packed some of that Toucan Play shade, I'm going to pick up just a little bit more of Tweet and just kind of bring that color back up and kind of blend it just a little bit into that Toucan Play shade. Next, we are going to be dipping into this beautiful yellow shade. This one is called Canary, and we're going to put it right next to that Toucan Play shade. Next up is this beautiful green shade. This one's called Jungle. And we are packing that on right next to Canary. So I think this might be where I switch it up just a little bit from what I did on the original video. I'm still going to use the same shades. I just think I want to do something a little bit different because I wanted to block out those shades a little bit more than I did in the original video. But we're going to keep going either way. I am taking the shade Macaw and I'm putting that right next to the green, kind of sweeping it out just a little bit. Alright, for right here, this is where I'm going to stop with adding new shades. I know it looks crazy right now with the blue, but what we're going to start doing is going back through those other shades and just building up the color a little bit. So, since I've already started with the blue, I'm just going to go back into that green shade Jungle, build that shade back up. And the more you go back and forth between all of these shades, the better of a blend that you're going to get between all of them. So right now I'm going to stick with going kind of back and forth between Macaw and Jungle and just keep building up those colors but blending them together too. Now back into Canary to start building up that yellow shade and kind of blend it in with that green. And we're going to be going back and forth with Canary and Jungle now to try and blend those shades in together. It's a lot of back and forth doing this type of look, but it pays off. Into Toucan Play, and then back into Tweet. For right now with the eyes, that is kind of all we're going to do. I am going to get some micellar water and a Q-tip, and I want to sharpen up that outer edge just a little bit, and then we are going to add more colors after, but I want to finish the rest of my face before we go about doing that. So I'm going to clean up that outer part and then we will start doing the rest of our face. So this is what it looks like when I kind of clean up the edges. It's still a work in progress. It's okay if it's still a little messy. We're still going. So of course the next thing that I want to do to start off my face makeup is primer. I have not changed how I do this. I still use the two different primers. So the first one is the Wet n Wild Glass Correct Primer. Right after that primer, we're going to go in with the Milani Chill Out Soothing Primer. All right, we're gonna let that one sit and then we will start the rest of the face makeup. So I'm using a different foundation today. I'm using the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. And I'm using this on a Morphe M439 brush. I just do a little squirt on the brush and then start tapping the foundation into my skin. Once I have built up that foundation shade that I want, I'm going to take my setting spray, which is the Milani Make It Last setting spray, and my beauty blender from Real Techniques, and I'm going to start blending out that foundation. For contour, I'm going to be again using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Tan Walnut. I just want to put a little bit here. Here. We'll start there. With that, I'm still using my Beauty Blender and my setting spray to blend that out. So now for concealer, I'm going to try the Revolution London Eye Bright Illuminating Concealer in the shade Light. And I just do a little dot here and then a swipe here. Dot, swipe. Usually do some up here, down my nose, and on my chin. So I'm gonna keep it the bow too. And again, Beauty Blender, setting spray, we're gonna blend that out. As absolutely beautiful as that concealer is and how well it blends out, it is just too dark for me. So I don't think that I can use it anymore. I want to try this really pretty new cream blush that I got. This one is the e.l.f. Monochromatic Multi-Stick. I'm going to take it on this brush. This is it's an angled contour brush. It's F40, but I'm hoping it'll work. This one's got a little shimmer to it, and this one is in the shade Glimmering Guava. And then lastly, before I start going in with my powder products, I'm going to use this Wet n Wild liquid highlighter. This one is in the shade 304A Halo Goodbye. And I just want to do a little bit and just blend that out with a Beauty Blender. That does not like to blend very well. Look at that. All right, so for powders, the first one I'm going in with is this Wet n Wild Photo Finish Translucent Powder. And I'm taking one of the Amazon powder puffs right under my eye. On my forehead. Now for some bronzer, still using the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It, and same brush, the ColourPop F30. For blush, I am going to use the Essence The Blush here. This one is in the shade 40 Beloved, and I'm using a Sigma F10 powder brush. That is a stunning blush. So I want to wait and do lips and everything else after highlight. I want to finish up the eyes now. So the first thing I want to do is just go back in and touch up that blue just a little bit, because during this process it gets a little messed up. So I'm going to be picking up that Macaw shade right here, still on the same brush that I've been using, and just start dabbing that color in just a little bit to fix it. So now I'm going to pick up this shade called Adventure, and I'm going to start putting that on my under eye. Now I'm going to pick up the shade Vacay right here and put it just in the inner part of my under eye. Now I'm going to take just a nice little fluffy brush, nothing on it. This is a Sigma E40, and I just want to buff that out a little bit. For a liner, I'm going to go with a white liner. This one is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Exit. And now in with mascara, still using the Covergirl Lash Blast Volume. For an inner corner highlight, I'm just going to use this white shade here called Cockatoo. I'm using a Morphe E36 for that shade as well. Now on to lips, I'm going to be using the NYX Professional Makeup Shine Loud lipstick. This is one that a lot of people have been talking about on like TikTok and Instagram. It has the lip shade, and then you put this like clear gloss over top of it, and it's supposed to make it so it's not transferable. So I'm going to line my lips using the ColourPop Lippie pencil. This is in the shade Oh Snap. This one is in the shade Magic Maker. So it says to let that shade sit and dry, so I'm going to do that, and then when it's dry I'm going to come back and put the clear coat on, and then we'll pop on some highlighter and we'll be all done. I feel like this look is still just kind of missing something. That's right. Liquid glitter. I'm going to line all of the outer part. It's not like super out there. You can see it if you're close, but I just think it adds just a little extra something to the look. So let me take you over to the window to show you what this looks like in natural light and see what you think. So here we are in natural light, about as much natural light as I can honestly get. I know it's very bold, but it's fun, and I had a lot of fun doing it the first time I did it. I love doing it again for a second time. Let me know what you guys think, and then I can't wait to see you for the next one. If you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. It really means a lot to me. Like, comment, share, as much as you can do to show your support. I absolutely am grateful for it. I appreciate it, and I love you all.